Here's another really quick video. Or I guess they go long, but um, okay. So here's the power of commerce, exchanging goods and services, and the facilitation of those things. Right? Is that it is so powerful. It is actually the means of survival, and so it basically is life in for like modern day man or people, and it's that people have things that you want and you have to give them something that they want. And commerce is so powerful, and whoever rules commerce will rule the world, is that you don't even need to have a senior form of commerce. I mean, people will literally, as long as you can facilitate quickly and easily whatever people good enough for commerce, you can dominate with a sub mediocre product. So don't think that just because somebody has the right tech, that they're going to dominate. It is not because of that at all. It's because of whatever spreads and whatever facilitates the most commerce. This is what really counts in the long run. But because we do live in a Ponzi scheme, you're born and raised in a Ponzi scheme, this may seem apparently untrue at times. But rest assured, it really is true. Whoever controls the commerce controls the world. Now, this doesn't mean it's bad. It's like I've heard a lot of negative things that people say about the current banking system and stuff like that, and there sure are. But actually, it could be a lot worse. People should be careful what they wish for as far as like bringing down the current system, because it's actually reasonably benevolent still, compared to something that might come in as a replacement. Now, that being said, I think that doing good business is extremely important, and that you should try to deliver good value on both ends of the exchange. And that way, I think it's really sustainable, and that's the way to make sure that an economy can actually move on. And then as you start interfering with that commerce, if you interrupt exchanges between people, right? Now you need a reason to do that. So if you don't have a good reason to do that, it could be legal. It could be maybe there's a reason why. Maybe they're now. I also believe that people should not buy and sell things that harm other people. You should try and just buy and sell things that are really beneficial to the. So I don't believe in selling things that are. Anyway, I think you get my point of view. But some people will choose to break the law, and they have to be responsible for that. But that doesn't mean that we need to restrict all commerce because a few people might try to do something illegal. So, unfortunately, though, people literally, this is such a powerful concept. Like, people will literally put up with fractional reserve banking just so they can have commerce. Like, think about it. Like, people aren't dumb. They know that this system is not functioning the way it is. So why do you think people put up with fractional reserve banking and government debt and all that kind of stuff and shit that doesn't even really, is why it's not even real? Like, why do you think people put up with an unreal system? They do because it allows commerce. Because commerce is survival. It is life. Everything else is not. This is the senior force in economics. Okay? If you really think about it, if you really, really honestly look at it, you'll see no man is an island unto himself. Okay? And oddly, that's why, like, if you want to predict the crypto market, the coins that actually produce commerce, legal, healthy, good commerce, not Silk Road, none of that bullshit, like, straight up, the shit that you normally buy. Doesn't mean you can't hoard it too. You can definitely hoard it. okay? But oddly, I predict that even BCH, even though I don't think it's senior tech, I think it will. It's going to gain the love of the people who are currently in BTC, which is super weird. And the irony of this other point. So the irony of it is that see, I love SV too. Don't get me wrong. I like SV. But here's why it's so stupid. Here's why SV is stupid. Because and BCH was stupid when they said, "Oh, BCH is Bitcoin. SV is Bitcoin." Well, who cares? Who cares? Life is commerce. Okay? Life is exchanging. So you don't want to be Bitcoin. That's not the point. Anyone who leads you down that road is a charlatan. Okay? And they're walking down a Ponzi scheme. You know? I'm not a CSW fan because of that. CSW, if he was actually to talk about commerce and exchanging goods and services, I would believe him. I don't believe him. I don't believe him at all. I think he's a plant put in there to, mess around with everything. Because the things that he says actually make sense and they're taught in the highest level of schools. But then if you look at his actual commerce, it's like nothing. He has no commerce. He has no product that's actually being delivered with the environment. And so that's why I don't see it. If maybe I'm wrong, if I'm totally wrong, then I would retract my statement. But I do see a great community in SV, and I love the people in SV. Don't get me wrong. So I'm a huge fan of SV, but I have zero interest in Craig Wright because I have an interest in commerce. But oddly, even though SV has the correct philosophy, they're so busy worrying about being Bitcoin that they're actually not on track. Okay. A couple years from now, you're gonna understand what I'm saying. Okay. You see, if you look carefully at Calvin Ayre and Craig and Jimmy, and I love them, I totally do, but they need to get down to work and actually get some channels open. Meanwhile, Roger, he's got all the people actually just slowly starting to use this stuff, So who knows? I don't really know the ultimate outcome. But yeah, I think BCH will and Dash and stuff will probably engage in the most amount of commerce and drown out, these guys who are trying to battle over who's Bitcoin, like SV and BTC will be like, "Oh, I'm Bitcoin," or "You're Bitcoin," or, meanwhile, it doesn't matter. Commerce is life, okay? So don't fall for the Ponzi. And if BTC wants to get in on the commerce, then all the power to it. Then it can compete there too. And if SV wants to get serious about it, because, and I messaged Faustus, the other day, and I was just trying to say to him, like, dude, no one cares about, like saying these funny tweets about trying to rile up or rabble-rouse, the community or whatever. It's like, what we really need to do now is actually bring goods and services to the people and set an example. That means being friendly, being smart, and actually having a real product, right? And setting that example. And not just saying that we're doing that. It's about doing it. Commerce will win. But in the meantime, that's the other thing about gold and silver is that when commerce turns into this Ponzi, like the speculators, the speculating on commerce is more valuable than the commerce itself, you have a problem. You have a serious problem. You're nearing the end of that cycle, and something more efficient will take over, right? See, gold and silver never actually change value at all. All that happens is that there's speculation on commerce versus actual commerce, and there's a ratio there. There's probably some kind of mathematical ratio I could figure out. Like there's a coefficient of speculation of commerce versus actual commerce. I could probably do an actual formula for this, and that way, like, you could have a coefficient of likelihood of commerce or likelihood of speculation. You could actually predict, true economics, and the people are just so fooled. It's like, the sad thing is, like, there's all these really smart people who really just, they know the point, right? They know the whole. So, they could just set it straight and not be a jerk and just say, look, guys, it's about exchanging goods and services. Don't do anything bad. Don't do anything illegal. It's about setting a good example and being a good person, And yeah, anyway, you got to go with the people that are going to do that. There is a frailty in BCH, though, because the protocol, because it's not rigid, they might, like, BCH might even get 128 megabyte blocks, and then later on they could screw up the protocol because of developer issues, So that's one edge that SV might have. But the problem with SV is they're not focused on actual business. They pretend like they are, but they're not. Now, the community is focused on it. And the community needs some guidance. Now, I would, if I honestly believed in the leadership of SV, I would devote my time towards improving commerce for SV, but I feel like it's just not, it's a waste of time for now. Because it's not developers that are going to get you business. It doesn't matter about your tech, honestly. It doesn't matter. It's about how you can bring to a normal person how he can enhance his life and sell his goods and services better, right? But for now, there's a blockage in the American legislation, so we'll see. I'm going to try and learn about that and try to support, maybe talk to my congressman or something. All that kind of shit. Okay, long. Sorry, I'm going long. Okay, thanks. I know you guys are probably going to hate me for this video.